Well, hey everybody, this is Monty. Um, so this is gonna be my last video for this 2020 year that we have here. So I just wanted to take a minute and just tell you guys that I hope everyone has a wonderful upcoming year. And I know that it's so easy for everyone to reflect on all the bad things that have happened for 2020. It's just easier for us to do that, right? It's easier for us to think about the negative than the positive things. So instead of focusing on all the bad things, yeah, we did have some things happen in 2020. We had some deaths, we had a pandemic, um, and all of those kind of things. And maybe you had some personal things going on that you wouldn't consider too positive. But I want us to take a minute and just think about also all the good things that have happened. You know, what are some things that what are some positive things that have happened for you this past year? For the 2020 year. So as for me, I don't have any New Year's resolutions. Um, Truthfully, the only thing that I'm hoping for is that God and the universe continues to bless me into 2021 as much as I was blessed in 2020. Well, like I said, everybody's circumstances and situations are different, and this year may have not been a great year, but there are some positive things that you can think about that happened this past year that we're leaving right here. For me, I mean, um, I've had some things work related um, that were positive. Granted, you guys know, if you don't know already, I'm a teacher, I am an educator. So the year has not been the easiest. Okay, it's been quite hellacious, to be honest with you, but there are some positive things that I have gained throughout this 2020 year as far as work is concerned. Also, I mean, to me, like the small things, I'm speaking in regards to like the pandemic, so this COVID-19 situation that we're still currently in, that we've been in since March. But it's I've built better relationships and stronger relationships with not only my parents but with my kids, my sister, and my coworkers. So those are some of just the positive things that have actually come out of a negative situation for me. You know, so I just want to remind you guys just to you know, think about the positive things, not only the negatives. When you consistently think about negative things, um, then it's gonna overtake you. It's gonna take over. So try to think of as much positive as you can. It may not be that much, but still at least try. Okay, still at least try. One of the things that I always tell people about before we go into the new year, a lot of people talk about self reflection. A lot of people use that as a New Year's resolution, or they try to do it prior to going into the new year. But I just want to let you guys know self reflection is nothing wrong with making that a resolution. It's nothing wrong with doing that prior to going into a new year. But guys, remember, self reflection is something that should be ongoing throughout the year, not just once a year. You always have to self reflect on, you, you know, your decisions, choices. You have to always and consistently self reflect. You have to figure out who you are. Okay, that's one of the main things, and so that's one thing that I'm challenging you guys to do going into this 2021 year that's coming up in some hours, right? um, I want you to challenge yourself to do a self-reflection. I want you to think about two things. The first thing is, who are you? Actually, let me rephrase that. I want you to think about three things. There's three things I want you to think about. Okay. The first question is, who are you? Who are you as an individual? This is something that we need to discover and we need to find out for ourselves. Who are you really? You know, you have to know who you are. Until you know who you are as a person, you have to know how you're feeling in different situations and circumstances. You have to be in touch with your emotions. You know, you need to figure out who you are. Okay, just as an individual. That's the first thing. Okay, I'm challenging you guys to. So the second thing I'm challenging you guys to for 2021 is, who do you want to be? What kind of person do you really want to be? You know, because a lot of times we forget that we have to model. You know, it takes practice. You know, being who you want to be doesn't just happen overnight. Okay, so like for me, the kind of person I want to be a person that inspires and motivates others to grow, whether that's to grow spiritually, to grow mentally, to grow physically, you know. And as like I said, I'm a teacher, so of course I want people to grow academically, right? So that's something that I want, you know. Um, that's the kind of person that I want to be. So that's my second challenge for you for the 2021 year. What kind of person do you want to be? Okay? And as we think about that, you have to also remember that you have to model that person. You have to practice on how to become that person that you want to be. You know, it's not going to happen overnight, but that's something that you can work on. You know, it takes a lot of practice, but it is possible. Okay? It is possible. So the third thing, the final thing, I promise, okay? Three things, that's all. Just three, okay? The third thing that I'm challenging you guys to is to think about and answer the question, what kind of life do you want? What kind of life do you want? That's something to seriously think about. So, as we are rolling into this new year and ending this year that we're in right now, those are the three things I want you to think about. Who are you? Who do you want to be? Like, what kind of person do you want to be? And the last one, what kind of life do you want for yourself? So I challenge you guys as we're ending this year, think about those three questions. Answer those three questions. You know, write them down and answer them. I believe in the power of writing, right? So make sure you write those questions down, answer them. And if you are a person that believes in New Year's resolutions, I challenge you to use those three questions that I just gave you and make those some goals or some resolutions for yourself to take into the 2021 year. Like I said, that's for myself. I don't have any resolutions. I just pray and I hope that I continue to get blessed from God, from the universe, like I was in 2020. I'm very fortunate that I was blessed. I know everybody was not, but I'm just the type of person where I try to always look at the good things that have happened to me instead of the bad. And so, with that being said, I'm going to tell you, so on my personal Facebook page, which a lot of you guys don't have access to, but anyway, on my personal Facebook page, I actually posted a picture and it's a jar. So this is another thing that you can do, whether you do it by yourself or whether you do it with your family. We're going to do it as a family in my household. So, but you have to have a jar, right? And so for every positive thing that happens to you in the 2021 year that's about to start, any positive thing, it could be something positive or it could be something that you're grateful for, you know, I want you to write it down on a piece of paper and fold it and put it in this jar, okay? And just keep doing that for everything that you feel like is positive that has happened, everything that you feel like you're grateful for that has happened, everything. We're going to start this on January 1st, and it's going to last all the way through December 31st. Okay, you can go get you a little sticky notes, or little notepads. Like I said, you could do it by yourself as an individual, or you could do it with as a family or as a couple. It doesn't matter. Like I said, for me, my household, we're actually gonna do it as a family. Each person is gonna have their own jar, but everybody is gonna participate in this activity. There's no option. Okay, I didn't give them really too much of a choice, but and you're just gonna put it in the jar. And so the purpose of this is because people focus so much on the negative things that have happened for the year, when you're going into a new year. So when we're going into 2022, on the 30th or 31st of December, we're going to empty out that jar. Each person's going to empty out that jar, and we're going to open up, and we're just going to read about all the great things that have happened. And that's what we're going to hold on to going into the 2022 year, instead of holding on to all this negative stuff. Like I said, I'm not saying we should ignore the pandemic or the deaths that we've occurred, whether they've been personal with your family or whether they've been actors, actresses, athletes. I mean, it's been a lot, but we really need to train our minds to think about the things that we've been grateful for instead of our losses. So, with that being said, I hope you accept all of my challenges. You guys are awesome. I hope you have a wonderful, safe, and blessed new year. See you in 2021.